Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm happy to do this video. I feel like this is my first real declutter video of the year, and it feels like it's been a while since I've done like a full-on video just about decluttering. Tonight I am sharing with you what I'm getting rid of. And as I go through the items, I'm going to share questions I ask myself and I ask clients when we're helping them declutter. When we're considering whether to let go of items, these are questions we sort of review and go over to make that decision process a little bit clearer and a little bit easier. I hope these questions help to give you a little bit of inspiration, motivation, and just something to reference when you're making decisions. So let's get started. For everyone who's new, I'm Marianne. I live here in Canada with my husband and 2 kids ages 5 and 7, and I make videos on simplifying life and motherhood through easy organization and decluttering. First question of the day. So let me see how many questions I have. So there are 7 questions I have today that I am sharing with you. So these are 7 questions that sort of pertain to what I'm getting rid of and what I'm letting go of. And I have about a dozen, 15, 12, 14, 15 items that I'm gonna share with you today and show you how I came to the decision of letting each one of them go. Okay, question number 1 that I asked myself is, have I used it in the past year? If you've gone through every season and it hasn't been used, that's usually means you can probably let it go. So one example of that is this train. We had this little alphabet train for the kids, and we've had it since they were little. It's a super, super basic puzzle. We got it from friends years ago, and the kids loved it and they used it quite often. I even, as you can see, put it in one of our zipper pouches and added a cute little label with like some pictures on it, and the kids have loved it over the years. However, we were switching around some stuff in cupboards the other day, and I found it and I thought, you know what? It's been way over a year. Like, it's probably been 2 years since they've used this. They've just outgrown it. They've gotten bigger, older. They do like trickier puzzles. And I even remember the last, like, I think it was probably last winter, I kept saying like, do you guys want to do the alphabet train puzzle? I'm like, no. So I know that's a sign that we can absolutely let that go. Some other funny, not funny items are these like takeout menus. We keep takeout menus for local restaurants in the back of my meal planning binder. I've showed it before in all my meal planning videos, and we keep them back there. And so the other day they all fell out. I think I dropped the binder and they all slipped out the bottom. So I grabbed them and then I paused and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna check and see if these are even still sort of valid. And like the one, for example, I know has coupons with it, which is probably why we saved it. And they all expired January 2022, which is 2 years ago from now. So that one's definitely relevant. And I think this particular restaurant's not even open anymore, so I don't know why we have that. However, these are places that we do order from, and we have ordered multiple times in the last year, in the last like 2 years, and we have never referenced the paper menu. We just instantly go to their social media pages or we go to their website and we look up what they have this week or month, and we just order from there. So I know for a fact we will probably never use these again, and knowing that we haven't used them in at least a year made the decision super easy. So I know I can toss these and not have to worry about it. Question number 2 is, did I forget that we owned it? That is usually a huge trigger, a huge red flag for knowing that I probably don't need it if I forgot I even owned it. When I was doing our basement overhaul, which I just shared in my last couple of videos, I went through a bit of the toys. We had them some of them tucked away in our toy rotation bin. And when I opened the toy rotation bin, I found some of dolls that Annie Rose used to play with. So we have this one that's like super babyish. I think she got that when she was probably still under a year. And then there's this one, which was a hand-me-down, which is like a bigger doll, but her hair's a bit wild. I know that Annie Rose did play with these dolls for a little bit. She never really got into dolls. I think I may have shared this in another video, but she never really got into dolls for whatever reason. So I think that's probably why they were in the toy rotation bin. But when I opened them and saw them, I thought to myself, we still own these. She has not asked for them. She has not played with them. It's been at least a year since she's actually played with these dolls. So I know that it's okay to let them go. I didn't even ask her in this case. Sometimes I include the kids in my decision making, sometimes I don't. Annie's is pretty good at letting go of stuff, and I do like to respect their own items. In this case though, I know that she hasn't played with them. I'm sure she thinks that they've already been gotten rid of, and she's full on into Barbies, so she will never bring up these dolls again. So I can confidently give these ones away. They also had like a bunch of little clothes and little shoes and all the doll accessories. So I popped all of those all into one bag together, and they'll all be donated, and someone will love those. Around the same time, I would think I was cleaning out one of our book baskets, and I found this book that Leo got free. Everyone is overrun with kids books, so they are always giving them away for free. And specifically, this thrift shop gives every Saturday a kid can leave with a book for free. And this is not a kid book, but it was what he really wanted that day. And it's a nonfiction book, definitely meant for adults, and he definitely will never read it. And I chuckled when I saw it, forgot that we even own this, and I know Leo definitely forgot as well. So I'm good to let that go, and some hockey fan will love it. Question number 3 is, if I let go of the item, but I want it back in like a year from now or in a few months, I think, oh man, I regret that decision. What was I thinking? I need that back. Am I able to repurchase it easily and, you know, $20 or less, and or could I borrow from a friend if I really needed it? That one almost puts my mind at ease sometimes with items. If I think, oh, I'm on the fence about this. I find this often with kitchen items that are really infrequently used. So say like a bundt pan, for example. I bought a bundt pan. I was really keen on this bundt pan, and I never used the bundt pan. But I just thought I might want to make a bundt cake once a year. And so if I let it go, will I be able to access that again? Yes, I could thrift a bundt pan, one per week probably, for $2. So I know I can easily get one, and I also know I can easily borrow one from a friend if I needed to borrow one. With that being said, I got this little Christmas box. It's very cute. I think this one came, Scott's parents give us an ornament, like a Christmas ornament each year, including the kids, and it came in this particular box. And I know personally I won't use it for gift wrap, and I know for a fact I can easily thrift all of like the tins or boxes I need. So I know that this is something I can easily let go of, and I won't worry that I can't get another one if I absolutely need it. A bigger item that with that same question, big stack of throw pillows. We got a new to us couch that we got off Marketplace 4 months ago or something. We got it and we love the couch. We're obsessed with the couch. It is our first sectional we've ever had, and we are in love with it. However, it came with all these throw pillows. If you watched my video about things that I no longer buy, you know that I have like a weird hate on for throw pillows in my house. I love the look of them in other people's houses, but for myself, because I feel like they are so much work to keep tidy. Even with knowing how much I dislike them, when we first got the couch, I thought, you know what, let's just try them, Marianne. These ones might work really well. They might stay on fine. So I tried them. I tried them for probably a month, and I thought, you know what, let's take them off and see how the couch is without the cushions. So I tucked them away for probably 6 weeks at least, maybe 2 months. And I thought, if Scott complains that he needs more pillows, then fine, I'll bring them back up. If he thinks it's really uncomfortable without the pillows, then I accept that, and I'm like willing to be flexible. But nobody said anything. Nobody noticed the pillows were gone. Nobody cared. The couch is still super comfortable, and I never have to clean any pillows up. It's amazing. Took pictures of them, put them on Marketplace, and someone bought them for $25, and she's picking them up this week, and she's super excited because she's been looking for ones to match her couch and that have this exact pattern. So win-win for everybody, and I never have to clean up these throw pillows again. Question number 4 is it a heck yes? Just that super simple thought or question or mindset will make it easier to make that decision. If say I'm working with a client, we'll be sorting through a whole table of things. And there's some certain things that they're like, you could just see their eyes light up, like, oh yes, I'm so excited about this. Oh, I love this, or I love this. And out of the whole table, there's probably usually 3, maybe 4 items that they actually love, actually think, heck yes. And then there are other items that they think, oh, should I keep this? Like, I don't know, I kind of like it. I always think, is it a heck yes? Like, does your heart leap when you see it? Do you actually use it all the time? Is it like, yes, I absolutely know we need this? And if not, then maybe that's a sign that it can go. An example of that is this shirt for Annie Rose. I guess it's more like a little dress or shirt. And I love the look of it, and she loves it too. She loves the idea of it. She loves that it's pink. She loves this little design on the front. However, when she wears it, it has like obviously behind the embroidery, it has this backing, which she finds so uncomfortable. And she's tried to wear it a few times, and it just drives her it drives her too crazy. She can't do it. Even when we have a t-shirt underneath it, we have tried that. And because we have no shortage of clothing for her, we get lots of hand-me-downs. So I know that's something we can pass along. So that's an example of, if it's not a heck yes, let's just wear the things that are a heck yes and let the ones that are not heck yes go. So I feel like that's another one with your wardrobe, if you're letting go of your own clothes, that's another sign. Like if it's like not a heck yes, then maybe it's a heck no. So the next question number 5 is, are you keeping the item because you love it and use it, or are you keeping it because you feel obligated? To be totally honest, I would say this is the one I struggle with the most. I do sometimes fall into the trap of keeping things simply because I feel obligated, because they were gifted to me by someone who means a lot to me, or I know that they mean a lot to somebody else. So I have 2 examples of this, of things that I have been keeping because I felt obligated, but then I have now decided to let go of. So item number 1, I have shared it. I think I shared it in my Christmas reset video. And this is a mirror, which is a beautiful mirror. You can see that's what's happening behind me. So this is a really pretty mirror that was in Annie Rose's room. It is sort of has this like style to it, this like ornate sort of thing, which I feel like is in style right now. It has like a super strong hook. It's a good quality mirror, I feel like. And it does like sort of match her room. It's white, which I like. However, the reason we kept it, the reason I have it is because my aunt, one of my favorite closest aunts that I was very, very close to, she was moving out of her house, and when we decluttered her house and got rid of everything, this was one of the items in her house. My mom thought it would be perfect for Annie Rose's room, and I agreed. I brought it in, I hung it on the wall, and it was very pretty. However, as months passed, I realized it was cluttering up her room. I just didn't love it there. She didn't care either way. I've taken it off weeks ago and she's never noticed. And I had something else that I liked better that I wanted hung where the mirror was. Every time I looked at it, I was just thinking how I don't really like that, and I'm keeping it only because I feel obligated. If you've ever had that experience, I feel like it takes all of the enjoyment and any enjoyment you might have had out of that item. Like every time I looked at it, it was like this negative feeling of just like obligation and a weight on me. Meanwhile, I know that my aunt does not care whether I keep this mirror or not. She has no idea it's even in our house. As soon as I took it down, I felt calmer. The room felt less cluttered. I just loved everything a little bit better, and I am so happy to let this go. One other item that I've been keeping out of obligation, which funny enough is also from the same aunt's house. I don't get gifted a lot of things. Like I don't have any living grandparents or anything like that, but I do have this one aunt that I was very close to, and this also came out of her house when we decluttered it. And at the time I remember thinking, oh, that's super cute. But honestly, I don't have any recollection of this from me being a kid when I was at her house. So I put it out the last 2 Christmases, but even the kids, like they don't really play with it. It's kind of like a small nutcracker. You can't actually put anything in there. In terms of like looks, it's not my style. Like I would never pick this at the store or anything. And overall, I just never really liked it, but I just kept putting it out because I don't know, I felt this obligation. She would never want that for me. She would never want me to put something out or to keep something just because it was hers at one point. So when I was packing up Christmas this year, this was something I just put into the donation bin, and I was happy to let it go. Question number 6 to ask yourself is, am I keeping this because I love it and use it, or am I keeping it because I spent money on it? So that's a huge one for a lot of people. When we spend money on something, we feel this dread of getting rid of it because we feel like what a waste that has been. But I will tell you from experience that keeping that item there for you to look at all the time and be constantly feeling that guilt and that like frustration with yourself for spending money on something that you don't actually use is way worse than letting it go, because once it's out of your house, you never look at it again. You forgot the money you spent, and you can move on with your life and stop torturing yourself. So I have a few items in this category because I do have a few items that I've spent money on, and I'm like kicking myself and kind of like thinking, dang, like obviously I wish I didn't spend that money. Item number 1 is this sweater, which is super cute. Like I feel like it's very much my style. It's a neutral color. It's long, soft, cozy. It has this like super big neck, which is kind of cool. And I bought this brand new, which is rare for me. As you know, I thrift a lot of my items. However, this was something I bought brand new, and I bought it for family photos. We had family photos taken with Scott's side, like an extended family photo shoot in the fall. I think it was actually on Thanksgiving. Leading up to those photos, I was really struggling to find something to wear for the photos. So I ended up just purchasing this sort of on a whim. I honestly did think I would like it. And it was fine for the photos. It has been in my closet since then. Over 3 months, it's been sitting in my closet and I have never worn it once since then. And I have tried it on. I have chosen it a few days and I keep putting it out to wear the next day. And I tried on that morning. I'm like, nope, it is just not me, not my style. It's not the right fit. I just don't love how I look in it. So why am I keeping it and torturing myself? So I just let that go. And I know that I am going to be happier when I look in my closet, not having to look at this every day. Another kind of mindset shift that I use when I am stressing about having spent money on something and just end up giving it away, I tell myself that that's the money I spent to borrow that item. So not every single item you ever buy or ever consume is necessarily meant to be with you forever for life. Obviously, that's the goal. We want to reduce as much consumption as we can so that our homes are happier and our wallets are happier. However, that's like just not going to be the case. Not every single item that we're going to buy, we're going to keep forever. So I try to think to myself, if I could have paid $25 to borrow the sweater for the day, because I think that's how much I paid for it, would I have done that? Yeah, I probably would have. Okay, here's my $25. I don't need this sweater for life, but I need a neutral colored brown sweater that looks cozy and fallish to wear for these family photos. So I borrow for the day and take it back. So I try to remind myself that some things are not necessarily, even when you spend money on them, it's not meant to be kept forever. Another example of this are these 2 little Christmas mugs. They are so cute. You may have seen this if you follow me on Instagram. I thrifted these at a cutest little thrift shop and we ended up getting 4 of them, 1 for each of us. And then probably a week later, Scott's parents came and brought over more mugs, more Christmas, those like big Santa ones for the kids to have. By the end of Christmas, our mug collection had quadrupled since before Christmas, and I knew that we didn't need this many mugs. And to be honest, this one I loved it. This is the exact one I actually personally chose. However, drinking out of it is an absolute nightmare. I think every single sip I had like coffee dribbling out of my chin. So if you've ever had one that's this shape, does anybody know what I mean? So as much as I think it's cute, I am going to let that go. And you know what would be super cute if someone's crafty, they could put like little stuff in it and use it for, because it's really big, they could use it for like a little gift, almost like a gift wrap for a really gift for next year. And that'd be super cute. But for me, I'm going to pass that along and keep the other million mugs we already have. Same with this one. This was the one Annie Rose chose, and I'm not sure if she just like picked it on a whim because she refused to drink out of it. Another little trick I do in my mind when I've either like regretted spending money on something or stressed about it is I think to myself, as consumers, we're not going to have 100% success rate. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be stuff we buy that we're like, I don't like that. And how am I going to know that? I can't know that this is hard to drink out of until I drink out of it. And I'm not going to pour my coffee into at the store when I'm standing there. Just because you bought something and don't love it, you don't have to beat yourself up over it. You're not going to love 100% of the items you purchase. We are all just like living and learning and figuring out what we love. And as much as we want to be mindful and we want to slow our consumption and we want to be super considerate about what we're buying and what we're bringing into this world, there are just going to be some mistakes. And that's all there is to it. Okay, the third example of this are these mats. So these were in our tree house, like our toy room in the basement. I remember when we first made the tree house, the toy room, the floor felt kind of like cold, and I wanted the kids at that point, they were still crawling, and I wanted them to have something sort of softer to like crawl around on. So I got these 2 mats, and they're cute, they're simple, they're plain, and they worked really well. However, when we got rid of the tree house or the toy room down there and we don't need it, we just use it for storage now, we don't need these mats anymore. And it's funny because as soon as I cleared out the room, I thought, man, like I spent probably a half an hour walking around the house thinking, where could I use these? Like, because I remember I spent money on them. And it wasn't a lot, it's probably $20. But there was something in my mind for this particular item, no idea why. I'm thinking like, I paid for these, I spent money on these, like I should use them somehow. So I put them in the bathroom, and I tried them in the other bathroom, and I tried them in another spot. And it's just like, what do I care? It's $20, but you got a ton of use out of them. I'm gonna pass those along, and they'll be a perfect little scoop up for someone. Last question I asked myself, number 7, is do I have something similar? as much as I love a specific item, if I have 4 of them and I only need 1, that's often the case where I can let some of them go. And this is another huge one for clients where if they end up, like say you love playing cards and you're really into euchre, but do you really need 20 decks of cards? Like, will you be able to manage 20 decks of cards? So I have a few examples of this. And when I was cleaning up our Christmas, I found a few of these Christmas ornaments and I was sorting through and I was like putting all of the ornaments back into the container and like looking at all the cute ornaments the kids had made this year and the ones we have from past years. However, I found these few and none of them really speak to me. The kids don't even remember where they made them or why they made them. They don't have a message on them. They don't have a cute footprint. So I knew that because I had so many other amazing ornaments that they have made and that are super sentimental and sweet, that I knew I could let these ones go and I wouldn't miss them. So I already had something similar. I don't need too many of them. These can go. Another Christmas item is this Christmas Look and Find book. Annie Rose is obsessed with look and finds. It's her favorite thing. She could do look and finds all day, every day. However, we specifically had other Christmas look and finds, and this one is for toddlers. So it's a look and find for toddlers, and the kids are now, as I mentioned, 5 and 7, and they're absolutely too old for this. So I knew we had other items that we liked better that were super similar that we will use next Christmas. So I knew that we are ready to let this one go. Same case, we were looking through our outerwear bin downstairs, which I love having. However, when I was looking through, I realized that we have 2 girl rain boots the exact same size. So they're both size 1 and they're both rain boots. And this is an item that I know would not help us to have 2 of at the exact same size. We'll just never use them. So I just had Annie Rose choose her favorites and she chose the other ones. So these ones we're gonna let go. That's it for my official questions, but I'm sharing just a couple other items I'm letting go of for some extra motivation, inspiration. Another category I shared in my things I no longer buy video were things from the dollar store. I feel like it's a very controversial topic, but I want to share an example of why that was one of my categories. We were at the dollar store. One of the things I impulse purchased was a set, a little case, or I don't know if case is the right word, but like a little set of unicorn nail polish for Annie Rose. And it came with, I think, 5 or 6 little nail polishes. And even when I bought it, I was a bit hesitant, thinking, it's probably not the best quality. You know, this is why I try to avoid the dollar store and why I try to avoid impulse shopping, because it's so cheap and it just makes you want to buy everything. However, here's an example of why I have been trying to avoid it, because we opened these on Christmas morning and she was super excited. And again, remember that these are items that were in her stocking. So these were straight from Santa, and we opened them and 3 of them were fine and we've been using them, but then 3 of them were just like already ruined. Like it was all, the polish inside was all dried up and the brush was just like an absolute disaster of mess. Like we couldn't use it. So these obviously I just have to toss in the garbage, which is really unfortunate. It was just like another example of why to avoid like lower quality things and why I'm trying to focus so hard this year on buying fewer items but higher quality items that I know will last and we will get really good use out of. Okay guys, that is my first declutter haul of 2024. It feels so good. I'm so excited. I hope this helped. I hope it gives you a few ideas of things that you might be able to let go of to make your home and life feel just a little bit lighter, and a few questions to consider to help make those decisions easier on you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for more decluttering content. Talk to you later guys. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.